What's up, my doobies? Doobie Drooby here, and I have a little story time to tell you guys because you guys seem to really like those.
Now they always say congratulations. Worked so hard, forgot how to vacation. They ain't never had the dedication.
This story time is about the time that I had an almost fatal overdose. In February of 2016, last year, I was going to pain management and had been for about 6 years. They had me on Opana, which is oxymorphone, which is about 8 times stronger than oxycodone, and fentanyl patches, which I'm sure you all are familiar with fentanyl. It's what is killing people left and right because people are using it to cut with heroin. I was prescribed to these medications for legitimate injury that you guys can check out in my last video I was talking about. February 2016, I had just gotten out of a bad relationship and I just moved back in with my parents, which is where I'm at right now because I had to pick up some things and I still wanted to record a video for you guys before work tomorrow. I was going to pain management and I started supplementing my prescriptions with heroin because the prescriptions started lasting fewer and fewer days and I started running out earlier and earlier because my tolerance was increasing and my doctor was about to get busted by the DEA. My ex-girlfriend, Katie, she was just a terrible, terrible person. She was very spiteful, very vengeful, and I fucked that relationship up, but you know what she did to get me back? She called my doctor and told my doctor that I was shooting up my pills, my fentanyl, and supplementing my prescriptions with heroin. So yeah, I was a little resentful, but I didn't know about that at the time. It was about Valentine's Day, February 2016, and I get a call from my doctor, and she says, "Andrew, we need you to come in for a random pill count." I had been going to this doctor for about 6 years and I've never been called in for a random pill count before. So yeah, it was a little suspicious. So I get there and I had been using my drugs intravenously, which means that I had track marks on my arms. To get around this, all that I did was wear really nice shirts, button-up shirts with tie. I mean, I was trying to look professional as all get out because I was working a professional job at the time, not after this. So usually, whenever I go in, I'll have my shirts buttoned up right here, and they'll take my blood pressure over my sleeve. She said, "I'm having trouble hearing today because I have a cold. Is there any way that you could roll up your sleeves so I could take your blood pressure?" And that was the moment that I knew that I was fucked. So I unbutton roll it up. And it's not there anymore, but you can kind of see the scars. She saw the track marks and she immediately said, "I'll be right back." She comes back in with a prescription for 20 Tylenol 4s and a discharge paper. And she said that we can no longer treat you as a patient at this pain management clinic. I was devastated because at the time I was really depressed. I had just moved back in with my parents. I was very, very in a dark place. I had lost my car, I had lost my girlfriend, I had lost my job. It was not a good place to be. What I did was very stupid, but let me just show you guys. This is the room that I did it in. And if you guys will look right here, do you see how there's a little space right there? What I did was I got a chair and I wedged it right in between there. And I mean, it was like so that you couldn't open it at all. You can actually see where they busted the door down. We'll get to that in a second. So anyway, I decided, fuck it, I'm just gonna off myself. I lost my girlfriend, I lost my job, I'm living with my parents, I lost my prescriptions. I had a good 26 years. I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna try to kill myself. I had a PS4 at the time that I had traded for 1.5 grams of heroin, which is a great deal if you guys even know, but that's a really good deal. And that's more than enough to kill yourself with. Well, I go to my plug's house, I traded it, I got the dope, I came back here, I barricaded myself in my room, the way I just showed you. I pull up the entire shot into one large syringe. I probably got at least 1 gram in. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with drugs, 1 gram of heroin in one shot, that is lethal. That is lethal 3 times over. So what I did was I pulled it up into a shot, I injected it into my arm, and just looking at it, it was so dark because there was so much heroin in it. I mean, I was a little scared, but I was ready. So I shot up, and I was still kind of coherent, so I fixed up the rest of it, and pulled it up into another shot. And I was going to do it, but I started feeling kind of woozy, and I just laid back like this. And it kind of felt like I fell into the floor, much like this scene from Trainspotting. This scene right here, the one that you're watching from Trainspotting, this is exactly the way that I felt whenever I did it. It was, honestly, and I hate to say it, it was the best feeling that I had ever experienced. It was better than any sex that I'd ever had, better than any experience I'd ever felt, better than any emotion that I've ever known. And I think that that is probably the saddest part of it all, because no human should ever feel that good. And I think that's why so many people become addicted to heroin, especially whenever shooting it up. But yeah, as you see right here, Renton almost died just like me. So anyway, I came to, and this is what I saw. Oh my God. Oh my God. And my dad is over me right here, and he's sitting here crying, right? I had never seen that look on my father's face. It was just sheer terror. And at this point in time, I look over to the door, and the door is folded in half. They had crawled over, gotten inside, and there was about 6 paramedics in my room. They had to administer 3 doses of Narcan to me just to revive me. Standard is 2. My dad begged them to hit me again for a 3rd time. And thank God that he did, because otherwise I would not be here right now. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever experienced anything like that, but whenever you're hit with the opioid reversal, Narcan, you go into withdrawals immediately. Now, withdrawals are bad, okay? It's like the flu times 1,000. You have diarrhea, you're cold, you're hot, you're sweating, you're shaking, you're puking, you're shitting. I mean, it's bad news. But precipitated withdrawals, which is what Narcan sends you into because it's instant, is about 10 times worse than that. So I'm sitting here shaking, sweating, and they rushed me to the hospital, and they said, "Did you try to hurt yourself?" I said, "No." They said, "Did you try to hurt anyone else?" I said, "No." Both lies. And thankfully, they believed me. So they couldn't do anything to treat me, so they sent me home that night, and I ended up drinking myself to sleep that night because the cops that had came there, they confiscated the 2nd shot that I had prepared, and I was pretty upset about that. But rehab at this point had never crossed my mind. I had been to rehab twice before when I was 16 and again when I was 17 for like Xanax and pot, you know, bullshit methadone, stuff like that. But this time the rehab was much different. It was a 34-day long detox, which is the longest that they had at UAB. And thankfully I got clean finally, and I have turned my life around. All because my father loved me that much. Jimmy Johns, I love you. He loved me that much to save my life. And he begged that paramedic to hit me a 3rd time. Because, see, the first time they gave you the intranasal Narcan, but I wasn't breathing. I was gray. I wasn't blue. I was gray. I was cold to the touch. I hadn't been breathing for a solid 20 minutes. They said that they couldn't feel a pulse, or if they could feel it, that it was very faint. My dad started freaking out. I don't remember any of this. This is just what my dad was telling me. They hit me with an injection of Narcan, and it still didn't bring me back. And they were about to pronounce me dead. They were about to pronounce me dead. But my dad pleaded and begged them to please hit me with Narcan one more time. And they did. And that's whenever I jolted awake. Dad, I love you. If you're watching this, thank you so much for saving my life. And ever since then, man, life has been great. You know, I went to rehab for 34 days, went to a sober living facility where rent was like $1,200 a month. It's called the 4th Dimension. It's a great place. However, I couldn't afford rent there, so I ended up moving out into my own apartment in the city, which is about an hour away from here. Didn't work out. Moved back here in October of last year, met Willow, and then the rest is history. And then you guys can check out this video right here about what happened with that. Spoiler, we broke up. But anyway, now I'm in a really good place. I'm living with my really good friend Rachel. You guys can check out the Q&A video I did with her right here. Thanks to you guys for checking out another story time of mine. It really means a lot. And I'm going to try to upload some more. Okay, you guys? Anyway, thank you so much, and we will see you guys in the next video. All right, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I upload almost daily, if not daily. All right, bye, guys.
That was never friendly, yeah. Now I'm jumping out of Bentley, yeah. And I know I sound dramatic, yeah. But I know I had to have it, yeah. For the money, I'm a savage, yeah. I be itching like I had it, yeah. I'm surrounded 20 bad bitches, yeah. they didn't know me last year. Yeah, yeah. If you fuck with winning, put your lighters to the sky. How could I make sense when I got millions?